Hi guys, it's Miss Eliza here. And today my helper is, can you introduce yourself please?
My name is Jaden.
Jaden.
Jaeden.
Oh good, this is Jaden. And Jaden is my son. And what grade are you in?
5th grade.
5th grade. So he's going to be helping us today as we have fun with learning. And we're going to learn through cooking. So we're going to obviously be cooking. That's like one lesson. Second, we always include ELA, that's the English Language Arts. Third, some math. And fourth, signing. Okay, sign language. I am the deaf and hard of hearing teacher for Merced County. So this right here is what we'll be cooking. Jaden, can you read to us what we're going to be cooking today?
It's a red velvet cake.
So let's sign cake together. This is cake. So I think it is so important to always be using language, exposing our children, our students to language, various levels of language. So something as simple as signing the word cake. Let's do that again, Jaden. Cake. So this is cake. So we're going to do a red velvet cake today. So when we're cooking, we have to always look at and do what first, Jaden? How do we know what to do?
Look at the instructions if it has it on the back.
He said we need to look at the kind of instructions on the back. And most of the time, yes, you're correct, they're on the back. So we turn it around. And instructions, directions, tell us what? Can you explain what that means? Instructions or directions, what does that mean?
It's basically telling you what to do if you don't know how to do it.
He said, it's basically telling you what to do if you don't know how to do it. And I think we have to follow directions and instructions every day with a lot of things we do. So perfect. So it says we're going to need 1 1/4. So this is our first little math topic. 1 1/4. So I'm going to write this down. It says 1, have right here, 1 1/4. And actually it says of water. So before we get the water, we're going to discuss this number. Jaden, can you tell me, and I know you've been working on this currently in your 5th grade math, what kind of number is this?
It's a mixed fraction.
Yes, it's a mixed, he said fraction. So it's a mixed number. It's a mixed number. Can you sign that with me? Mixed number. Let's have you scoot this way just a little bit. Perfect. So, why is this called a mixed number? So first, let's talk about its parts. If I cover this, Jaden, what kind of number is this?
The whole number?
Yes, this, can you hold this for me?
Yeah.
This right here, let's hold it down, is a whole number. It means it's a full number. It's not part of a number. It's a whole number. Now, if I cover the 1, what is this?
It is a fraction.
It is a fraction. And what's a fraction, Jaden? Can you explain what a fraction is?
It's like part of a number or something.
So he said, yeah. He said he's correct. It is part of a number. It's a fraction. It's a part of a number. So if we have the 1 is a whole number, and then the 1/4, so you see how we're signing that too. It's like a fraction. 1/4, the numerator and the denominator. 1/4 is only part of it. So I just actually gave you my next question's answer. What is this top number called?
Numerator.
That's the numerator. So we're going to sign it numerator. And what's the 4? What's that one called?
It's a denominator.
That's the denominator. So the fraction parts, or the numbers in the fractions, have names themselves. So now that we know we have one whole number and then a part of a number that we call a fraction, if we have both together, they're called a mixed number. So now, Jane, I'm going to have you kind of, I'm going to give you a little job. I'm going to erase this with my hands. I'm going to give you this marker.
Okay.
I want you to use a circle, and I want you to draw a picture that represents 1/4 of your circle that you are drawing.
1/4.
Okay, let's show. Okay, does that look right? He's right. So why? So we know that our fraction has two numbers in it, a 1 and a 4. Can you explain to me, how do I know this is 4, the denominator's 4?
By counting it.
By counting what?
Just like not looking at what's shaded in, counting all the spaces.
Oh, so he says not looking at specifically what's colored in that black, but how many like spaces and how many parts. So we can see here there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Because this circle is divided into 4 parts. And then the 1 is what?
The 1 is what's shaded in.
The 1 is what is shaded in. It represents. Because I want 1/4. Okay, so we're going to stop with that little bit of math and continue with our cooking. So Jaden, well, first let's look at this. Vocabulary, like I said, always exposing 2 words. Do you know what this is called?
No.
Yes, let's try. What does it look like?
A cup.
Okay, so this is a cup. Now how we can be more specific and expose our children to languages, this cup is just not a normal cup that we just drink. I don't just drink, I mean I could, but
no.
This we use to measure liquids. So this is called a measuring cup.
Oh yeah.
A measuring cup. So in here, Jaden, I need you to fill it up to 1. I think what's probably easier is if we fill this one up to 1 cup of water, and then we have a smaller cup here, and it's marked 1/4. You can add the rest of the water in here, and then we can pour it in there. Got it?
1 cup.
1 cup, and then do 1/4 of this one and pour it in there. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. So while he's doing that, we're going to continue. I need 1 1/4 cups of water, and then I need 1/2 cup of vegetable oil and 3 eggs. Also, what I forgot to do is I'm going to go ahead and preheat our oven real quick. Can you get that ready? And what is the temperature? Let's see here. 350.
And 1/4.
Okay, we're back. So I can talk about that. We always need to preheat our oven where we're gonna bake. Okay, Jaden, can you pour the water in here, please? Pour the little one in the big one. So we're going to save our water for when we need it. So we're going to talk about, I just preheated the oven. So let's talk about that word, Jaden. Let's get my pen again. Preheat. What does that mean?
Pre means before.
Yes. So pre means before. Pre is called a preheat. prefix. So it's part of a word before another word that changes the meaning. So what can you think of another example of a word that has pre? What about, we have
Pre-boil.
Pre-boil.
Well,
that makes sense, but it's not a common used word. What about pre-school? So it's like the school, when we go to school before we start school, kindergarten. Kindergarten is when we start school, but preschool is before. So pre just means before. Now what's the opposite? Do you know the opposite? So if it's not before, it's after. Do you know the word we use? The prefix?
Of after.
Do you need my help?
No, hold on, let me think.
Hold on, he wants to think. Starts with the P.
Preheat and
It'd be a post.
oh yeah,
Post means after. Okay, so just another example of learning language through cooking. Preheat means to warm up the oven before, so we're not waiting and waiting and waiting, because sometimes it takes, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes to get warm at the temperature. So we put it on 350 degrees. That's the temperature. Now, Jaden, in here, I need to get it. I'm going to get the vegetable oil, and you're going to pour for us half of a cup. But let me get the oil first. Why don't you wait here?
Okay.
I forgot to grab that. Whoops. Okay. So we have our vegetable oil, and I need you to pour me 1/2. Let's hold it. Oh, the half's right there. Perfect. Let's put the cap back on. And that's vegetable oil. And we cook with that a lot. A lot of kind of recipes require vegetable oil. Okay. And then we have our 3 eggs. There's another simple sign you can use at home. Eggs. Eggs, like we're cracking the eggs. Okay. So now it says, well, I forgot. Let's talk about 1/2. 1/2. We hear that a lot. Mom, can I have half of a cookie? Can I have half of something? So half. So question for you. How many halves equals 1 whole? How many halves? 2. Because, we know this because, let's write this down. Can you hold this? This is how we write a half. So it's half. A half means 2. So that's why the denominator is 2. To have a whole, you need the full parts of the denominator to be the same as the numerator. So you said you need 2 halves to equal 1 whole, and that is correct. So if this right here said 2, this would equal what? 1. 1 whole. And actually you could even have 9/9, 4/4, that's all 1 whole. Good job. Okay, so now we're going to get to our mixing. Jaden, it says, I'm going to read this. Mix the cake mix, the water, oil, and eggs in a large bowl with a mixer. We're just going to use a hand mixer so it's not so loud. For about 2 minutes, vigorously. Vigorously. What does that mean? Vigorously.
I don't know, but I'll try. It sounds like it means like hard.
Hard? And do you think it's like hard, but it's like slow?
Like roughly,
kind of roughly fast. Yes. So it means when we're mixing, we're not just going to go like this. We really want to mix it. Yes. So I'm going to grab, can you grab our hand mixer out of that drawer? The same one I use for pancakes. Did you get it? Okay, perfect. So now, so it said let's add, so let's open the box. Here's another word we can expose all of our friends to. What do you always check when you see food? You're like obsessed. What do you always check?
Check the date.
He always checks the date to make sure it's what?
Not old.
Not old, or what's that fancy word we use? It's
Expired.
Not expired. Jaden is obsessed, which is good, with checking the date to make sure it's not expired. And expired means what?
Like overdue, kind of.
Yeah, like it's old.
Old.
When the factories make these boxes for us food, they put on it a date that says that's best if used by, or like if you have milk, should not drink it past the expiration date. So what that means is when it's expired, you should not eat it. So, Jaden, are we good?
May 27th, 2021, yeah.
May 27th, 2021. So we are good. We have about 1 year. So we'll be fine. We won't get sick if we eat this later.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So you want to grab the scissors and we can open this package better. And I don't know if you heard, but our oven is ready. It beeped. So let me. Okay. So if you can slowly pour this in the bowl. So let's see if we can put this up here so everybody can see. We're pouring the cake mix into the bowl. Let me put that back in here. And we've already measured our 1 1/4 cups of water. Can you pour that in, Jaden?
Water.
Let's put this up here. And we also measured our vegetable oil. So can you pour our 1/2 cup of vegetable oil? And he's swirling it around. Okay, keep pouring. That's good. And last, we need to put in 3 eggs. Can you crack the eggs?
Okay.
I'll help you.
I'm scared.
There's 1. There's 2. You can put that in the box. I always put my trash inside the box. Perfect. Now it says we need to vigorously mix it. So vigorously mix it. But we also want to be careful. We don't want it like plopping out, spilling. So Jaden's gonna stir it for me. And then let's read the rest of this. It says, bake in a desired, wait, I lost my spot. So now we need to decide what kind of like pan we're gonna use. There's different options, the pan size. It says, can you use a 13 by 9? That's one option. 2 round ones. That's the second option. Let me spell it right. Bundt cake pan, or you can even do the cupcakes, little small ones. I enjoy using the Bundt cake, and that's this right here with the little hole in the middle. This is actually a silicone one, but again, vocabulary. Instead of your child saying, Mom, I want the round cake with the hole in the middle, you can say, oh yeah, that's called a Bundt cake. So we will be using a Bundt cake pan. So we've got that. Jaden mixed it vigorously, mixed. And before, we need to spray so it doesn't stick when we're trying to get it out. I'll grab that. Okay. So we just have our cooking spray. Again, vocabulary you can use with your children at home when cooking. Mom, we need to use the spray first, or we could say the cooking spray. So I'm going to go ahead and spray our pan. And that's so it does not stick when we're trying to dump it out. And I'm going to slowly pour in. Let's see. Can you go put that in there? Or just hold, let's put that down. We have our cake mix. It's red. Jaden did a good job mixing it vigorously. And I'm going to pour it. Scraping it all out. We got it. Okay. So we got most of it. We got most of it out. Okay. So now this is the parent only part. Yes, for safety. Because an oven is very hot and can hurt yourselves. So we want to make sure that the children are not close when mom or dad or the adult opens the oven to put the cake in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, it's in. But I also want to show you some more vocabulary. These are our oven mitts. So these will protect my hands so I don't get burned when I'm putting in the cake or even taking out the cake. Let's real fast, we're going to review. We're going to talk about fractions again. So, Jaden, what is a fraction?
A fraction is a part of a number or something like food or a cake or a pizza.
Those are good, that's a good definition and good examples. So when you get a pizza, when your parents order a pizza online or you go, well right now you can't go to a pizza restaurant, but it's round and they cut it into parts. And those parts are called fractions. So the next time you get a slice of pizza, you can say, I have a fraction. of a pizza. And if you want to even learn and teach your family more, you can count. Mom, Dad, brother or sister, there are 12 parts, and I have 1/12 of this pizza. So that's a wonderful way to include math into something simple and fun. And then let's review again. The top number is called what?
The numerator.
The numerator. And the bottom number is called what?
Denominator.
The denominator. So, so fraction is a part of a whole. And let's review a few signs we learned today with cooking. So first, cooking. Let's do these together, Jaden. Cooking. Cooking. This is how we sign cooking. Water. We needed water for our recipe. So water. It's just the W right here. Water. Eggs. We needed 3 eggs. 3 eggs. And notice 3 is not like this or like this. 1, 2, 3. And that's actually something we can do right now. Let's just count real fast in sign language up to 10. Can you do it with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect and simple. Okay, what else did we say? We learned as far as a language, an ELA concept, pre. What does pre mean, Jaden?
Before.
It means before. Pre means before. We could say a pre-test. So that's like a test before your lesson or before the real test. Preheat. That means we need to get the oven ready and hot. What's another? Preschool. That's a kind of school you go to before you start actual kindergarten. You have one?
Pre-bake, I think.
Pre-bake. So it's kind of like baking before the actual main thing you have to do. So, pre means before. So I think that's it. Thank you. I hope you learned some sign language. Hope you had fun. Sorry, we're not going to wait on the oven and share the cake. But I'm sure it'll be good. Don't you think? Okay.